wanted a monster? Well, you've got one.
Amazing.
Yeah, that was a recording from Death Race, 2008 film. Jason Statham there, you can hear. Welcome to the Science Fiction Rating System. With me is Sam.
Hello.
And Alex.
Hey.
And today we are watching and critiquing Death Race, which is 2008 movie. Paul W.S. Anderson. Starring Mr. Statham himself. Have we had a Statham film?
I don't think we have.
No, I don't think we have. He hasn't made that
Which
much
is surprising,
sci-fi, really.
It's surprising. I think probably because the sci-fi he has made is probably quite low rent, isn't it? So,
Well,
is the Meg sci-fi?
I guess so.
Well, no, I don't think it is, because I think the Meg falls under the rules of
They just find it, don't they? They don't make it.
monster trucks. Yeah, they just find it. It's not made. They just find it.
It's not
He's
like
in
a mutant or something.
No, I feel like he's in.
He's in the
one.
No, he's in. What's that? John Carpenter. He's in Ghost of Mars.
Oh, is he? Oh, I really want to see that. I think he's in the Jet Li film.
Jet Li film.
Which we should do.
This is the end of Bloodsports season, isn't it?
Yeah, Bloodsports over.
Which the listenership are happy about.
Motorised Bloodsports season.
People aren't impressed.
Did you say that people weren't impressed with Bloodsports season?
I don't get much feedback, but all the feedback I've got for this is when you're going to stop reviewing the same film over and over again, basically. So.
Okay.
I thought it was quite interesting
I agree
to
with
do.
them.
I thought it was quite interesting to do 2 films and 2 remakes of 2 films. I was like,
fine with it,
okay, yeah, me too.
Not that interesting.
Okay, we'll do what the listeners want.
Well, they're going to love the next season.
Don't spoil that. Don't spoil that.
No.
Keep waiting for that one.
Okay, cool. So, Death Race, based on the 1975 Death Race 2000, which we did previously. I mean, I was thinking, it definitely needs a remake. Well, in 2008 they did it.
Yeah,
and it could still do with that remake. It's got a more of a seated, it's more of a placed positional film, isn't it? It's not like just out in the open.
No,
they do a lot of explaining in this film, don't they? Like everything's explained compared to the other one, I think.
Definitely.
The other one.
Definitely. Definitely. Definitely.
So 2012, remember when the US economy collapsed and prisons became privatised?
Yeah. That was
a bummer, wasn't it?
Yeah. Prisons
all
are
happened.
privatised.
All happened.
Yeah.
But they are, aren't they?
Some of them are.
Yeah, I thought some of them were. Yeah.
Depends on the state.
I don't think they have death races in them, but
they probably do.
Yeah.
For like the dinner queue or something.
Yeah. Do you know that they're on the soundtrack to Death Race? The first track of the soundtrack to Death Race has Ian McShane, Lovejoy, doing this long monologue that is, well, not that long, but a monologue that isn't in the film that sets the scene for the for Death Race. Did you know that?
Exclusive Lovejoy.
Would you like it? I'm not going to do an impression. Would you like a little?
Do the voice.
The Lovejoy theme tune and do it.
Well, no, he does. In this, he's doing his like Deadwood, like Wild West.
Stupid American voice.
Okay, so now pay close attention. You may not know it, but the next Great Depression is right around the corner. People will lose their jobs, then their homes. It's going to be the perfect time for the race. A hard sport for a hard age. Millions watch the raw footage streamed live over the net. The drivers are convicts and the rules are simple. It's kill or be killed. Frankenstein has lived through it, made with a steel mask as the crown's favorite. Behind the plate is a face so torn up and burned from half a dozen crashes that no one can stand the sight of him. But shoot him, burn him, run him over, he just won't die. He's won 4 races, just one more and he wins the ultimate prize, freedom. So that's the beginning. Weirdly, that opens the soundtrack of the But they obviously, what did he just record it just for the soundtrack? Because that's never. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
He probably just went rogue.
Don't you think Ian McShane feels like he's immortal? Because in Lovejoy, he already seemed quite old in Lovejoy, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yonks ago.
And he's still going, isn't he? Yeah, he's still going.
Lovejoy.
Me too. I love Lovejoy. I love Tinker.
Yeah, it's all good.
R.I.P.
Yeah. See, I feel like people don't give him enough kind of shit for all that. Like, he's just this kind of cool.
Like, isn't he? Shit for Lovejoy.
He really reinvented himself, didn't he?
Yeah, well, exactly. But he's been reinvented without anyone remembering what he did.
He had a very big fallow period, didn't he? It's weird how he disappeared, then just popped back up in Deadwood. It's like, oh, look, here's Lovejoy.
Well, he was, there was a whole period where Lovejoy stopped, and then Cash in the Attic and Flog It were way off. Really it was before his time, because really, Lovejoy would be at home now.
Yeah.
With,
I'm
Flog It.
surprised. Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't got a reboot, Lovejoy.
What happened to Eric, the kid off it? You don't see him, do you?
I mean, he's probably on Flog It now.
Yeah, you don't see him. He had a funny nose.
Yeah.
Loved it.
So the basic, story to this is basically a gladiator, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, he's Gladiator. Yeah, pretty much.
Killed his wife.
Yeah,
it is.
Gets nicked.
Yeah.
Has to win his freedom.
Yeah, he's Gladiator. Yeah.
So there's this terrible scene where his wife gets killed, which I think was shot. You know how it's edited? It's shot like it's a Edgar Wright film. It's quite comedy.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, it's a bit. Also, this does that kind of This does do that thing of like the second Punisher film, where you just you're spending this time where he's not having a great life, but he's having a life, and you're just like, this isn't gonna last. Hurry up! Something horrible is gonna happen to him. He has to end up.
We've seen so many films like that.
But he earns $300 for a month's work or something, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it's funny how he's not bothered by it.
Yeah, and his house looks pretty much
lovely.
Normal.
Yeah.
The lights are left on.
Yeah.
Now, now we're all aware, don't leave your lights
can't
on.
do that, no.
Also, he comes back to his wife and goes, I've got $300. She's like, don't worry about it.
Yeah, have a beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's celebrate and have a beer.
Yeah,
you just got laid off.
Some money or something.
It's strange.
Yeah. And he's really, when the riot police come, he's just like, riots. Oh, well. I guess it's
I thought it was
a
the
horrible
race
world.
thing at the beginning, but that's his job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was he doing? Fracking.
It's an iron mill.
Smelting.
It's like the beginning of
a
Total Recall, where it's just drilling rock for no reason. People will have them jobs in the future.
Yeah.
And that one about going back in time. He was at a job like that as well.
Time Cop.
Yeah. No, In Time, Justin Timberlake.
Oh, In Time. Yeah, you had a Robert. Yeah. Factory work. It's just a lot of it about. So many factories, aren't there?
Americans, I guess they have them sort of manufacturing jobs in quite high status. Doesn't make a lot of sense.
No, not really. Yeah, he's at a steel mill, making steel for the prisons to put on the cars, maybe.
Right, how ironic.
Yeah, maybe.
So, he gets framed for his classic setup, really. Kill his wife at the beginning,
Yeah.
She's not really in it, is she?
She doesn't have a name until an hour in, when they go. It's just Sarah, my wife, or whatever it is.
Susie.
Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah, they're like, oh, okay. Yeah, and then there's that great bit where Ian McShane's like, oh, I don't think you killed her, and he's like, don't you? And he's like, yeah, the way you look at your daughter, yeah, you wouldn't do that.
Again,
you've known me a week.
Well, he's weirdly not bothered about people thinking he did kill her, is he? And also not really bothered that she's dead. He's just not bothered, is he? Really?
That's Jason Statham, though. Isn't
he's on to the driving job. He's focused on that as soon as he gets the driving job.
I suppose.
And Lovejoy can spot a fake from a mile away, because
very true.
He often did in the show.
It's very true. It's very true. Hey, did you notice that in the very beginning, when there's the Frankenstein? The other Frankenstein,
Carradine,
it's Carradine's voice, yeah. Do you think it's him in... I don't think it's him. Do you think it's really him?
No,
it's just his voice, isn't it? Yeah. I thought it was quite a good little nod.
That was an excuse for me to read into his death again at Wikipedia.
Oh, God.
I didn't know there was a lawsuit about it.
Yeah. Was there?
His wife won money off the production of the film he was on because he was known to be a bit of a deviant. There was supposed to be someone checking up on him and going and knocking on the door and going, "You're right, Mr. Carradine. You're right, Mr. Carradine." And they didn't do that, and that's why he
not having any oranges or lemons on the craft table.
Exactly, yeah. So that's why he got, and so she got some money off him for it. How crazy is that?
I don't know if I was widowed like that, I don't think that would be my first line of thought to go to. You know who I blame for this? Yeah. I blame that film crew for not.
We all knew he was a pervert.
Yeah,
we'd checks and balances in place.
What a terrible job! That's probably like a runner's job, isn't it? Oh, can you just knock on David Carradine's caravan every 10 minutes?
Why
make sure he's not masturbating to death.
You can see why they didn't do it, can't you?
Yeah, because it's a horrible job.
Yeah,
no one wanted to do that.
I want to knock his door.
Oh God! Yeah, so, I think it's quite a good little nod to him.
A little vignette's
like
nice.
Yeah,
I didn't notice that, so that's spoiled. So he's locked up, but is put into foster care.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I assume.
Yeah.
So it always there's this woman who's like the head of the prison.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's the warden, isn't she?
She seems to be living in the same shithole as the prisoners. Really, it's
that's funny, that isn't it?
Yeah,
you'd think they would cut away to having.
They've got one guard. Got one guard.
Well, there's two, I think, but not anymore.
There's not
two.
many.
Yeah.
No. I guess there's people in the sniper towers, maybe, but you don't see many of them.
Well, it's that guy who's become bigger now, hasn't he? And he doesn't really have many lines in this.
Is it Jai Courtney?
No, it's Jason Clarke.
Jason Clarke.
He's in Terminator Genesis.
Oh, right. That's who I thought Jai Courtney was. He's in that film, isn't he? I don't know who Jai Courtney is then, because I always assumed that's who that was. But
no. He's in Zero Dark 30 as well.
Yeah, and he's
Jason
also
Clarke.
in
that's Jai
one of the Apes films.
Oh yeah,
second one.
I quite like Joan Allen in this. I think she's doing an all right job as the
forgettable
villain.
Though, right? Just forgettable. I don't really find her scary.
Guess.
Don't really.
I guess
she's fulfilling a role.
Yeah,
she sits with a very straight posture.
Yeah. You're right though. She does seem to live in the prison, which is a bit weird. And I never noticed that.
It's just one of those sorts of films, isn't it, though, where they're developed as far as the plot needs them and no further.
Yeah.
She's evil and she's in charge. That's it.
Wears the same shit every scene.
Yeah. I mean, literally, she's in one room, isn't she, for the whole film, I think.
Yeah.
Or two rooms. She's in her office, or she's in the control room, like the TV
adjacent to
room.
the office,
which is next to the office. There,
it does look like a really low budget film in these bits, doesn't it? Because
it does,
yeah. These bits, but I don't think it was a big budget film, really.
45 to 65 million was the budget.
Oh, okay. Weirdly, I read that originally Tom Cruise was going to be in it.
No, he was producing it.
Oh, okay. He was never going to be.
It was in limbo for years because they fell out, the producers, over making it.
I thought it was going to. I was imagining him as the kind of Frankenstein character.
Maybe, I suppose. I doubt it was a Paul W.S. Anderson film at that point, was it? I can't see.
Wagner
maybe
production.
Not.
Yeah,
maybe not. Maybe
not.
Know
about this company.
I can imagine Cruise wanting to do the driving.
Yeah. Days of Thunder 2.
It went defunct, this company, this year when this was made. So.
Yeah, they fell out.
It was a burner. So she makes a deal. Classic. You know, you can get through 5 races. You can be free. Blah, blah.
Yeah. But they make the... See, I'm the one bringing the enthusiasm for Death Race. I can see that.
It's crap.
No, it's not crap. It's a brilliant remake. It's a brilliant reimagining of it's not a great original film. This, I think, is a solid reimagining. I like that they use the way that Frankenstein's used in the first film as a genetic clone.
But if you don't know any of that shit, just watch.
But they do it. They kind of do it in this. It doesn't matter that you don't know it. They do it in this where she's like, "Oh, it doesn't matter who Frankenstein is. He's just like he's a totem. He's like the crowds get behind him. It's just a way for getting money, isn't he? It's weirdly a bit like the Rollerball remake in that she's she's got this like pay-per-view sport, doesn't she? And she's trying to basically make loads and loads of money from her pay-per-view sport, which is quite not underground but pretty underground, I guess. I like all that. I prefer
Oliver Reed's character in Gladiator.
I agree, Alex. I think
I wasn't the best because I killed quickly.
I think it's a better film than the first Death Race. I think it's more coherent, definitely.
Yeah, and it's they've transported it to it's a reasonable. It is sci-fi. They've made a few leaps.
I like how it's more contained. This island. Do you think it's a real island they found to do this?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Real.
I don't know.
At least like they went to some length to explain the fact they are trapped there by putting somewhere they actually are.
There's just too much explanation, though. I think it's better if you're doing like these sort of conceptual sci-fis. Just just leave some stuff to be.
I agree.
Imagined.
I think though, like the problem is that they've got 3 races, haven't they?
Yeah,
and they're all exactly the same.
Yeah, that is a problem.
So, like, they've got to try and build something around it, and they've done nothing. And I guess they get to the island too fast. So, you're just left with exposition.
Yeah.
Over
well, I don't
again,
know. It did take 50 minutes of this film before there was the actual race.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I didn't realise that. Flew by for me.
But they're in the prison within about 10, aren't they? Surely.
Yeah, but the prison's like a bullshit. Like, it just looks like shit.
Yeah,
it's all desaturated. It looks really boring.
Yeah, the colour grade.
Some gangbangers, just different type. They all look the same.
Don't you think it's weirdly... Is this like what at the start it becoming very easy to like digitally do a lot to colour grading or something? Because
the colours...
It's so overdone, isn't it?
Yeah, grey and it's just dirty, grey, dark.
It just looks like it's got an Instagram filter all over it, doesn't it, really? Was that 2005, Minority Report?
202. So it had been going for a little bit.
While.
Yeah. Another thing I do like about this film is a lot of it, which other people you could see as a failing, but I see as a success. A lot of it is like a computer game. The way you see the track when it shows when it says like day 1 and you see the track, that's like the load screen of like Gran Turismo when you're seeing like the track you're about to race on.
But if they didn't do that, it'd have no style at all. This film.
No, but that's true. I quite like the gamification of this film.
The Mario Kart pads and stuff.
The Mario Kart pads are brilliant. I love them. And I quite like that, and the way that there's like intro scenes to each driver as well, like the silly, flashy driver
They do it once.
things.
They do this stylized thing like once before the game, before the race.
But also, I like that they do it. Those bits are normally when you're watching the feed of the. You're supposed to be watching the feed of the actual race, which I think is quite good. But again, that was one of the best bits.
I want to see more of the world. I want to see. It needs to be like RoboCop, where they show the world like they show that like in bits before we get there.
I think they should just have like the races in a different location. Each race is in a different place.
Different prison.
Solve a lot of the different prison. Maybe they tour prisons.
Yeah, that'd be quite good.
Because it's just the problem is they.
That is the problem.
They don't even change the track between races, do they? It's like all it changes is that big lorry turns up in the third.
Well, because the first race there's loads of people.
Yeah.
And that's kind of exciting. The second one, there's the big lorry, the big truck, and then the third race is the third race isn't really a race, is it? The third one. It's
who they get into man that truck? Who are going to die?
Idiots.
Yeah, idiots.
That's true because they're not prisoners, are they?
No.
Well, we don't think so anyway.
Why don't they get like the? It doesn't make any sense. None of the vehicles make sense. It's like one of them's driving a fucking like 1990s Jaguar. With like some like them things could hardly pull their own weight, let alone if you put like 6 inches of metal on the back of it, and like it's just rubbish. And it's like why? I know they want them to be killed. Well, I was just thinking like why don't they give them like actual fighting like tanks and stuff? I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense.
I quite like the vehicle design, but I can see. Yeah, it's a bit.
The big problem with the death race as well is that obviously. Being first is the worst place to be because you can't shoot anyone. Which is why, that is a bit ridiculous. Derbies and stuff. There's no, they're going all around, aren't they?
Why don't they have any like backfiring guns?
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
No, that's a bit weird. No, all the weapons, all the defensive weapons are backwards, aren't they?
Yeah. Like Mario Kart, I suppose.
Yeah,
it's very Mario Kart.
You can fire a shell backwards though in Mario Kart.
You can, yes, yeah.
So they should have had something
or
like that.
leave one of them things in the track.
It would have been good if they'd had some like wacky like weapons that they give them.
The blue shell thing that like, goes on the whole track and gets first place.
Or everyone's car shrinks suddenly. Like just some really weird like because it's set in the future. They're just like, oh yeah, we've got that technology now to shrink everyone's car. Why not?
Did you not enjoy though? I quite liked the physicality of the races. I thought a lot of it's practical, isn't it? And I think
It's just very quickly cut, though. You can tell like they're just cutting around doing any sort of proper stunts. The same with the fight scenes. It's literally like so quickly cut that it's just completely cheated.
That is true, except for I thought the crash, the big lorry crash, looked really good.
Yeah.
You like that?
It's all right. Yeah. I thought it was a tank at first when...
Yeah, it does look like a tank.
Yeah, but... Yeah.
Jason Statham, one of his thingies for this, one of his, like, demands was that when he did the fight scenes, there was no, like, martial arts, because he didn't want it to... I think he'd just come off Transporter, and he didn't want it to look like that. If there was a fight, he needed it to look more like...
So instead they just did nothing?
Just grimy. Just, I guess it's like pummeling each other, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's not really...
He uses, like, metal tray to...
that's it, Fire extinguishers, things like that.
Yeah.
Also, clearly, like, the whole keeping the mask on situation is, like... I'll do it, but I've got to take this mask off whenever I'm in the car with the hot girl.
Yeah, they very quickly say, "Oh, you've got the glass. No one can see in the glass or something."
Yeah.
But then
stupid.
The stupidest thing of that is that you're not supposed to know who Frankenstein is, and they're like, "Oh, no one knows." And then he radios Machine Gun Joe's like, "Yeah, all right, mate. Yeah, I think you need to back off." And he's like, "Well, it's obviously Jason Statham, isn't
He's
it?"
talking to her right at the beginning, going, "All right, love, yeah," and then the bad guy's literally just there.
Well, I mean, but also, like, Frankenstein goes missing, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Jason Statham goes into prison.
Yeah.
And then he gets put in solitary and vanishes, and all of a sudden there's a new tech on the car who happens to be Jason Statham, and then, surprise!
Who isn't there in the pits when they're racing?
When they're racing,
Who that List's character seems to know the backstory of, so why wouldn't everyone else in the prison know that he was whatever racing, like NASCAR or whatever it is.
Also, that window thing, immediately and constantly throughout, he's looking out the window shiftily, and they're looking back at him shiftily, repeatedly.
Yeah. No, that is a bit stupid. Yeah.
And obviously, they've also got, like, the sunroof open. They've got other things open.
Yeah.
She's out the sunroof at one point.
The scene when, when they fire the ejector seat, but she doesn't go out, and they cut back to the stuck car, and she's just sat down chilling. Yeah. But she's got no seat, has she? She'd be like on a little, like, pole, wouldn't she?
Gear stick
on an empty spring. Yeah, no, I didn't think of that.
She's not wearing very practical clothes for.
But they explain that, Chris. They explain, yes, because they say because he says, "Oh, I want to meet my navigator," and they're like, "Oh, yeah," they bust them in from the women's prison.
How's that explaining it?
Because he says, "Oh, big tits and fast cars. That's how you sell. That's how you get people to watch the race."
Right.
So it's explained why they look like why the women are like that, and then they have the big kind of homophobic thing about Machine Gun Joe only having male navigators. It's he's a weird character, because I actually think what's his face is quite good.
Tyrese Gibson.
Yeah, because in Fast and Furious I find him a bit annoying, but you're supposed to. But in this, I think he's actually acting, and then and a bit of me is like, oh, it's really positive to have this gay character who, he's kind of the villain, he's kind of not. They're drawing on the whole Machine Gun Joe hating Frankenstein thing from the original. Interesting. And it's good that he's just gay, and that's just how it is. And then there's a few little comments where you're like, oh, it's a bit homophobic. But then
someone shout "homo Joe" at him at one point.
Yeah, he goes, "See ya, homo."
Yeah, there is stuff like that. But then I was like, oh, but is it just...
I mean, it is in a prison.
Yeah, and then I'm like, oh, is it actually just good that he is gay? And is, they make a few jokes, but, like, that's not beyond the realms of what they would say in the prison. They'd probably say worse. True. So I was kind of like, oh, and then he kind of is, in the end, he's a goodie, isn't he? Like, he survives, as it were. Well,
He just has an explained, change at the end, really.
What's he in prison for?
They don't ever say what he's... I read that. It never says what he's in prison for.
Well, they said he killed a load of people at the top, so...
Yeah. It's one of the few people, I think...
He's got all these scratches from all the kills.
Yeah. I think they don't want to tell you, because then it might affect how you felt about him.
He's doing the tally thing on his cheek, but he actually does it wrong. He's got, like, 3, and then he goes across. I was like, don't they know how to do the tally situation?
Yeah, no, I did think of that, yeah.
So it's clearly defined. There's 3 stages.
Yep.
So now there's a complete, like, we've got, like, the script in front of us now. We know what's going to happen. We know, everything's going to be quite predictable. You lose races. And then he figures out one of these guys does the same hand gesture as the guy that killed his missus.
And he's got the GPS thing on his wrist, doesn't he, as well?
Yeah, I know when these guys coming in, they've all got these big bands. GPS trackers. Normally they go on your ankle, though, don't they?
Yeah, I would have thought so.
The man who's in here, the man who killed my wife's in here. I'm going to fucking find her. Him. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm not so bothered about all that. That's a bit boring. But
it is boring, and also is like it just gets boring the way he'll say lines like that constantly. There's no. He's got no.
He doesn't have a full sentence line, really, does he? I've noticed, like, all his lines are quite half sentence.
Yeah, and like he's got no. There's no like. There's no peril, and he's not really invested. He's just like. I don't know.
Change. He didn't change through the film.
No.
He just walks in the room and goes, I'm going to fucking kill you and fucking kill you, and then walks out again. It's... I don't know.
Yeah. It's not, yeah.
He looks at a photo every now and again, and that's supposed to make us feel like he's like a deep character. Stupid.
Yeah, but I don't think... Yeah, that is all rubbish. But I don't think it really matters. I know it's a trope, I don't think it really matters.
I just think I think because the film there is so much talking and wandering around doing nothing. Like often when a film is like punished dude goes on revenge mission, when he gets to the revenge bit, it's always just like bloodlust and like just killing a lot, isn't it? And you don't really get much dialogue in those sorts of films.
No,
I think because it keeps stopping and he's forced to go around and chat to people, it's a bit sort of like. Just doesn't work.
Again, it's like a computer game. He's got to go around and like talk. You need a wrench.
It is like
find
it's totally
a wrench.
Like that. Yeah.
I need a bigger fuel tank.
Yeah. Pachenko, do you have wrench?
I love the bit when he's doing the work on the car.
Yeah.
And the guy goes like, "Oh, you got to stop. You've been doing that all night." And he's like, "No, man, I got to get it ready." And then they say, "No, stop." But he walks off, and the guy goes, "Oh, thank fuck, he was shit at the welding." I thought that was a good line.
Yeah. They're not given much time to build the cars back.
He's driving it and having to do his own welding.
Yeah, that's true. Something wrong there. Someone worked out, right? So you know that the race, the paying per stage costs $99, or $250 for all three stages.
Yeah.
So at one point, it's mentioned there are 70 million viewers. Okay, if 70 million households paid $250. The revenue earned would be at least 17.5 billion.
Nice. Billion?
Billion. Yeah, billion.
Billion.
Because there's 17 million. Is that right? 17 million.
Did you say 70 million viewers? That's not 70 million households.
She does say that at some point. Maybe not.
But it's streams, isn't it? So that is one individual...
I think it was streams, 75 million streams.
Yeah, but I assume it's like boxing, it's like one guy pays it and then his mates come round.
Yeah, he's invited. Which camera do we want? Oh, let's have Grim Reapers. Let's say that kind of thing. He's my favourite.
It's still some pretty good bunts, isn't it?
Yeah, that's good. That's why she's the boss. That's why she's the...
I mean, really, you think they'd have a better management system and...
They're making 17 billion off it.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah. It should be a lot better organised than that bloody one woman in her office and her one guard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also, did you see it kind of has it's got a bit of a Truman Show moment when they escape, and then she kicks all the people out of the control room. A bit like in Truman Show when he like makes everyone leave. Yeah. Like it's got this weird kind of there kind of should have been a bit more of the. I wanted
more Truman
room.
Show. I wanted to see like the fans watching it. I wanted to see more of the stylized. Like adverts and
I can see what you're saying here,
like
RoboCop or something, you know.
Like Redline. You watch Redline?
Yeah,
Redline. The in-between bits.
Yeah, So
it's very like monochromatic and very it's not hard to like to put some animations and just you can even outsource it when you're making a film. You could go and find some people to make that side of thing because it can be completely jarring.
Yeah, like you say though, Sam. If it was like they go to like Sao Paulo or they go to like Kenya and do a prison off the coast of Kenya, and you'd at least things would look a little bit different. It does look too samey.
Yeah.
And there's not. I mean, they're called the races, but there isn't. Yeah, it makes it feel like it's a lower budget than it actually is.
I mean, it just really feels like it is the third version of this film that's direct to DVD, which those exist, don't they? So good directing what they are, but the scope feels so small for a proper film, you know.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Yeah, I still really enjoy it though.
So his he starts to figure shit out. Like,
yeah,
the woman's not going to let him leave. His co-pilot is fucking around.
Paid off, but
which doesn't seem very like she's like sabotaging the car, but it's like she could get killed.
She's in it. Yeah, I didn't get that.
Yeah, that's a bit silly. But again, respect, because that's a bit like the original. They've kind of gone back on the original again.
Yeah. No, I do like the little links to the original one. They're good, but it is just a bit silly, isn't it?
Yeah, she would just die as well, wouldn't she?
Well, I mean, she's already almost died once. She only got out because she ejected from the seat, doesn't she? At the start.
Also, basically, her whole role is to say something to Jason Statham not to do, and then him to do the opposite of it. Like, she just keeps saying, you're supposed to drive forward, you're supposed to win the race, you're supposed to get the defensive, you're supposed to... Like, and he just does the opposite every time, doesn't he?
There's so many shots of him like looking to the right and then like, you know, saying something a bit naff and then a gear stick moving. You know, like him like he goes into top gear about 85 times, doesn't he? He constantly going up a gear over and over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Sexy line up.
Yeah. Up. That's it, yeah. Sexy line up, that's it. That's the Death Race story really.
Yeah. So, but yeah, they released the Dreadnought. They have the Dreadnought thing. The tank, the truck tank
It's got lots of weapons on it, some machine guns.
I quite
Again, they've got like swivel guns on them, but it's like the cars can only shoot literally where it's pointing.
Yeah, so they'd all just be dead, wouldn't they? Like in minutes, seconds.
Yeah, it felt a bit too over the... It's a bit like, that would just kill everyone, wouldn't it? Like, how do they... I know they defeat it, but it's a bit like...
Is there actually a course that they have to follow?
Yeah.
I think it's like it's a massive oval, isn't it? Like two long straights and the tops.
Yeah.
Like an aircraft carrier, but bigger, I think.
Because otherwise you wouldn't really... This would be a really bad tactic to like just drive at full whack all the way around, wouldn't it? Like,
yeah, and also like the fact that Navigator knows shortcuts and stuff like that. But it's not that big a track. Like everyone would work out where the shortcuts were the second time round, it wouldn't they?
Yeah. Well, especially when they've been driving it because he's... No, so Machine Gun... Yeah, he's been three times round.
But the Navigator made more sense when they were going literally one side of the country to the other, didn't it? When you're going round and round a tanker.
She does the weapons, and she does the kind of R2-D2 hitting some stuff at the back to make it work.
She's in the back, like, fucking welding shit.
Yeah, she kind of is, isn't it? Like, they've tried to make it...
R2-D2.
Yeah. The pit crew,
R2-D2.
The pit crew are ridiculous because they nearly get killed every time. Why would you stand by the side of the road?
All they're doing on the radio to him, just do that from inside the hangar.
Yeah, they get they nearly get killed like
over and over
times.
Again.
Yeah,
wouldn't it be better like if it was more freeform and like you could hide behind a corner, like park up,
it would make loads
turn
more
your lights off, and then shoot, or like.
Yeah.
You know, jump off a roof onto, you know, like they need to use it more.
Yeah. By making it a race, it ruins it because you need to have car combat, car v car, don't you?
Yeah.
It'd be better if it was more like Grand Theft Auto or something.
Yeah. Like a Demolition Derby kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
So the few more races are killed, right?
Yeah.
And then we find out that the top woman's put on a bomb. Actually, I think it fails on the second race, right? Or it doesn't go off.
No, there's no...
she puts it on in case he wins.
Yeah, she offers him... She does a big speech about, like, oh, you're actually a bit of an arsehole and you're not really the right thing for your daughter, so why don't you just stay here forever and race for me? And he's all like, you wanted a monster. He did that. He says that.
Yeah.
So then
for a multi-billion-dollar, like, franchise, she seems to be making it up. She's going along, really. Don't you think?
Yeah. And also,
this isn't NFL. The quality of like management going on here, is it?
Also,
she controls the whole prison, and that's like the best she could come up with is a bomb under his car. Like,
if they're making 17 billion, I'm sure they could pay enough danger money for people to do it voluntarily, couldn't they?
Why are they even running prisons if they're making 17 billion? Do you know what I mean? Like,
and also, why does it matter? Like she, the ridiculous thing is, she says because he goes, the nasty guard is like, oh, I'll kill him. And then she's all like, oh, you can't kill Frankenstein, it's just a mask. And you're like, yeah, so just let Jason Statham out and bring in a new person.
Yeah.
Because you're not losing the Frankenstein.
I mean, with that sort of money, surely they should be training up like some really fucking good races.
Yeah.
They've got the time and the track and all the resources.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And what does everyone else in this prison do all of the rest of the time?
Why they're there?
Not decorating.
Not decorating. And they're just tarmacking the track and stuff, and like polishing the spikes on the dev sets.
Maybe they are like doing maintenance on the track.
Yeah,
maybe fixing the dreadnought.
Fixing,
next race.
That's it, isn't it? What rubbish! Like,
yeah, that's really bad. Is it? You know, they first go in and they're like, literally the first thing they say to him is like, "Oh," he goes, "What's that down there?" You go, "Oh, she's roped off half the area. You don't know what it is."
Yeah.
You know, it's such obviously it's a car, isn't it? What else is it going to be?
Yeah, yeah.
It's a car.
Also,
it's an ice cream factory.
Isn't it? It's like they're making noises of building the cars, aren't they? It's all like construction noise going on.
And it's the other side of the garage, so it's not going
to be a fucking sauna, is it? Pretty sure it's a car, mate.
Just a big car because they need a big space. Yeah.
So Lovejoy finds that the bums on the car must have taken it off at some point.
Well, he sees a secret route out as well.
Oh, and also Lovejoy has disclosed that he's there by choice, which was odd.
Yeah, I've got.
Well, he likes fiddling with cars, doesn't he? So.
He's got post-incarceration syndrome. That's what he's got. It's a mental health illness that means people can't leave. It's like PTSD, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, he says, doesn't he? I've got a syndrome. I don't know what the name is.
And that's actually
that was the name.
Yeah,
that's the same as what the guy had in Shawshank.
Yeah.
They all had it in Shawshank.
Yeah.
Never seen it.
Oh, haven't you? Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Never seen Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, you should.
So how could you have not seen that? It's on like every week.
You avoided it deliberately?
No, it's never really come up. Yeah. Never seen Saving Private Ryan all the way through either.
Oh,
They're the two things that like two big things.
Okay. Well, I've never seen Godfather.
There you go. Yeah.
So
we've all got them. What's your never seen, Alex?
I haven't seen Blade Runner 2099.
That's not a film, so that's
24.
Whatever it is, 20, whatever it is. See, I don't even know the name of it. That's how much I haven't seen it. And I should have seen that.
It's pretty boring.
That's a dereliction of duty because you're actually on a science fiction podcast. But
I keep thinking we're going to do it, so
we will do
it
one
off.
Day,
that's what.
So
boring.
There's like some sort of cahoots happen then between Machine Gun Joe and Jensen.
Yep.
Where they having worked together, I think, to destroy the tank. They want to just escape the prison, and which they've got a plan. He has another fuel tank put on his car, which seems like a stupid plan. Also, why are all the police cars in the prison? Because police cars don't normally hang out in the prison. The police cars should be on the other end of the bridge.
That's so true. They should drive towards the prison, and then they just stop them instantly.
Yeah,
that's so true, isn't it? That's so dumb.
Yeah. Or you just put a drawbridge in.
Yeah, or just blow up the bridge.
Yeah.
You think the ultimate
the bomb should have been
safety
on the bridge.
Would just be like just on the bridge,
down.
blow it up.
Yeah. Oh, that's so dumb.
In fact, why do you need a bridge? Because you could just airlift them in, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, or have like a ferry
like
to bring in the cars and stuff.
Yeah, you don't need
You're like a Jaws ferry, where the cars drive on and then you.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't make a very high intensity race if they all have to get on the ferry and then
he's just like
he jumps the car to get onto the ferry.
Slowly forwards. Yeah.
And there's helicopters whizzing around, but it's all bullshit. Somehow they manage to escape. He gets the woman to sit on his seat, and
that's way earlier on.
Well, they swap places, don't they?
Oh right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, when they
she puts the mask on.
Yeah.
And that's because she said she's got a release form.
Yeah, that's not going to work, is it?
No, what? Is she not?
So she just gets let out at the end.
She must, she?
Even though she fucks everything up.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't just say, "Oh, you've got the form, right? Fine, you're free to go."
Oh yeah, we were only interested in the guy.
Yeah.
You can go.
She, the warden says another quote you could have used at the start during this moments around this time. She says, "Okay, cocksucker, fuck with me, and we'll see who shits on the sidewalk."
Wow, I should have said that one.
Yeah, it's really random. It's this whole thing, isn't there? At the beginning, she doesn't like swearing, and then she says that. But it's also a very weird sentence. She also earlier says think about like, I've got the right hand of God on me, and there's all this weird like there's some quite weird religious.
Yeah. Like what's his name? Has the blade in the Bible, doesn't he, and stuff like that. There are like little. And
I like that bit when before this last race, she does that massive speech to all of the prisoners about how they're all just awful and that she's gonna, although no one wants them, and then someone's just like, well, that's bullshit. Like they're just like
machine gun prisoners just listening to
what
like
the fuck's he talking about or something?
The warden's just having a meltdown on the tannoy.
Funny enough, I got real Liz Truss vibes there. Like that's a very you know. That speech you on reminded me of that woman of like what who are you talking to? You know, what?
Well, the cheese speech, when she's talking about we import most of our cheese, and she just goes
pork markets. That
one. So somehow they managed to escape on a freight train, which seems to be a very easy escape from this prison.
Yeah, very easy.
Yeah, because
and really old-fashioned as well. That's like what happens in like films in the 1930s or something, isn't it? Like
there's nothing around for miles, but except a train going past and all these helicopters, and they just can't work out where they've gone.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen like cop shows where they can find someone hiding in a bin with the helicopter because they've got like the heat thing on it.
Well, won't they still have their GPS
so how are these
trackers
two
on?
pricks like on a train and not just
Yeah, won't they still have trackers or something?
Yeah. Where's his GPS tracker?
Yeah.
No, they didn't have them.
Yeah. And then one of the weirdest things in the whole film happens where Ian McShane decides to break the fourth wall and say, I love this game, and then blow up some people. Why does it happen? I don't understand why that happened.
But also, if he loves that game, well, you fucked up, mate, because there's no more game. You just blown up the control centre for the game.
Now you just live in a normal prison.
Yeah, you're back in. And also, you're on parole. Now you're back in because you just blown up the warden.
Yeah.
You fucked it all up.
And I don't think you'll be able to do any of this like racing stuff anymore.
No more racing.
Actually, he's the one that should have been pretending to be Frankenstein because, he's not even supposed to be in prison. He wants to be there.
But he probably can't. He never passed his driving test.
He had that lovely Land Rover, didn't he, in Lovejoy?
Yeah, and he had an automatic license.
Yeah.
So the detonates the bomb on the Queen bitch, and all done.
But didn't you think, the end when you see them, Machine Gun Joe and Jensen in that car place and all that?
Cars,
wouldn't it have been a brilliant ending if Jason Statham's character was now gay, and that they were just like a gay couple bringing up bringing up the kid? Like that would have been the best ending.
He's found love.
Yeah, and the woman turns up and she's like, oh, okay, well, bye then. It's like, don't need me then. Yeah.
That's so unnecessary when she gets out the car at the end and they do one more slow lingering shot of her body.
Ugh. Yeah. No, it's silly. And they're sexy. She's got that weird sexy theme music, hasn't she, that they play?
Yeah.
Every time they see her,
The music's all over the place because it's like the score is like a lot of it's in 7/8. It's in a really weird time, and it's like a bit kind of I don't know.
I quite like the music. I think the score
odd,
isn't bad. Yeah.
Then suddenly it's just like, bitch, gonna put a cap in your ass, blah blah blah, motherfucker, and then it goes back to this very like subdued score again. It's very odd.
Yeah. As you say, there's those weird. There's two. Is it two other sequels?
No. So right, there's three. So Death Race 2 and 3 are prequels
to this.
Yeah, which is quite clever because they get to bring back Lists and 14K and a few others because obviously they're not dead yet, are they? So all the no names out of this film
can come back.
Could come back into those. So there's two prequels, and they've got Danny Trejo in, obviously, because they're doing anything.
Yeah.
And then there's one.
Lovejoy is like a Danny Trejo like luxury version.
I think Trejo is playing that role in the other one, I think. So there's 2 and 3, and then there's Beyond Anarchy, which is the fourth film, which is the sequel to Death Race, this one. So they go two before, one afterwards.
Yeah.
I think they are on Netflix, and I think I probably will watch them because we're not going to watch them on this podcast. We're not watch them on this. I can safely.
I've had enough of all this car shit now.
Okay. Sean Bean is in Death Race 2.
Really?
He's the villain in Death Race 2.
I read that Luke Goss is in one of them as well.
He's in all of them, I think. He's the main star. He's the Statham in all of them.
He's not that bad. No, he's not that bad. He's all right.
I like his. I think. Let me just check this. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, his character is called Carl Lucas, right? But everyone calls him Luke. So I wonder if that's because Luke Goss couldn't act unless they were calling him Luke. Because his name's not actually Luke in the film, but they all call him Luke.
Amazing. He just forget when they said his character name. He's like, "Talking to me, I'm not called that."
I've met Jason Statham a couple of times.
Nice. Well, how was it?
He used to do a lot of shoots with his wife, and he sometimes came along.
Who's his wife? Not
Kelly Brook.
Kelly Brook. Oh no, Rosie
Huntington Whiteley.
Yeah,
he used to go to Tamworth a lot. Do you know that, Chris?
He used to go to Tamworth a lot.
Because Kelly Brook's family is from Tamworth.
Did he used to go? Did he used to go out with Kelly Brook or something?
Yeah.
My sister's ex-boyfriend saw him at Tamworth train station a couple of times. Living a high life.
Did he go like, "Oi, transporter," like that? That's a good one. Yeah. So was he nice, Chris?
Yeah, they were both lovely.
Oh,
Rosie's
good.
We
Good.
did quite a few jobs with Rosie. He's very nice.
I'm glad to hear that. I like Jason Statham. You get what you know what you're going to get. I don't think this is great. Jason Statham. He's better in other things.
The problem is that he's always just him, isn't he? So you hit your limit.
Yeah.
I really like Crank when that came out. I really enjoyed Crank because that was just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous. Another very gamified film, isn't it?
Is that sci-fi? Crank?
Oh, he's got
thing in his heart.
He's got a thing in his heart, and he has to build.
We're not watching that.
I like Crank. It's good.
Crank is it Crank 2 where the end is his burning skull
2,
giving you the finger, breaking the fourth wall. Amazing ending.
Crank 1 is one where he has to just randomly start having sex.
Yeah, sex with her in the market. Yeah, it's great. No, I love a bit of Statham. I have to say, Meg. There's a Meg sequel, I think, coming up.
There is a Meg 2. Meg was terrible though. Have you seen the Meg, Chris?
No.
I thought it's a good first half, and then it's a bit boring. No, you didn't even like it?
No. I came for the shark, and the shark's rubbish.
No, the shark is rubbish. Yeah. I give you that.
Megalodon. So Megalodon.
Yeah, but it's just too big. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's too big to fit in the...
it must be realistic, though, right?
Yeah, it's too big. Oh, hey, we've only got 10 minutes left on our
10 minutes. Well, we're nearly at the end anyway.
Well, let's wrap this up then.
Let's do a round-up.
So let's stick this in the list.
Hey, do you... oh, no.
Well, hang on. What's everyone's need to do? Final thoughts?
Oh, yeah. So what's your final thoughts then, Alex?
You know what? I think you can tell. I really like this film. I think it's a decent remake. I think they've done a really good job with transporting it to something else. I think it pays good respect to the original. It's stupid, but it's entertaining. I think the car races are good. I like how the cars look. I agree that there's not much peril or risk and that it's too dark. But yeah, I'll happily watch this, and I will try and probably watch the others. I'm sure they won't be good, but I will seek them out. I'm not gonna lie.
I will seek it out.
I'll seek these out, and then I'll kill it.
Yeah, fucking film.
Fucking yeah. You want me to watch the Death Race sequels? I will.
I'll fucking do it.
I'll fucking
I like how
watch
they try and explain his backstory slightly. They're like, started off in England, moved to America when he was 8 or something.
Yeah. A bit of Van Damming there, isn't there?
Trying to explain his accent.
Yeah. When Jason Statham does an American accent, it's so bad. So they're doing a good job for us here. Yeah.
Well, I think he started in the film doing it, and then it moved.
I think Lovejoy's American accent's crap.
It's that kind of Wild West. Yeah, it is a bit annoying, isn't it? But I guess people were used to it from Deadwood, so they don't mind it.
But he's not in Deadwood anymore, is he?
No, because he does do it in everything. It's just become the Ian McShane voice, isn't
it?
Yeah.
Cool. Sam, what do you think?
I mean, no, it's not very good, but there is. It's all right. It's very ugly. But I do like the races are all right. I must confess, I did fall asleep in the third race and had to watch the end again because I was kind of bored.
Wow.
It's not complete trash, but it's not very good. The thing is, though, I will say that, obviously we watch a lot of bad films, and this is quite a good bad film. It's a watchable bad film,
Yeah.
Which is a genre unto itself, really.
Yeah.
Chris?
Yeah, pretty boring, isn't it? Pretty boring, poor.
Boring.
You knew what was going to happen.
Yeah, you do know what's going to happen.
What they didn't do, what they normally do, right, in these, they normally have, another racer who's supported by the bad guy who...
Yeah. Company man.
Who they can't lose.
Yeah.
They
they piss... It's kind of like, it's Pachenko, isn't it? But they kind of piss that away because he's just worse and he just gets killed by...
Yeah.
Because he killed the... Yeah, you're right. They should have used the character. It feels like it should be that disgraced NASCAR bloke, but they don't bother with him. He just dies really quickly.
Or do like they did on the Loop film, where someone becomes so popular with the crowd that they try and take them out. I think that's a better story.
All right, the prison warden is a retired racer. Who won and got out and became the prison warden, and then in the last race he has to go back and race again to go and get
hell yeah.
Or they can see the franchise coming into an end because Frankenstein keeps getting killed, and even the league gets killed, and then the warden has to put the Frankenstein thing on to try and keep all their jobs.
It's getting a bit caperish now, isn't it?
Yeah. Or the Emperor comes and races,
right?
And
who's the Emperor?
Oh no, that's Gladiator.
Are you not entertained?
Yeah.
We didn't get a thumbs down scene, did we?
No, that's what they should have.
Gun fingers.
No one walks through reeds.
Really, they should have
they're doing the gun fingers.
They should have ended it with Statham putting his hands through reeds at the end, shouldn't they? Walking through a field in Florida.
Yeah. What a movie. What a great movie that is. Right, okay. So, I think it's pretty poor in
the original
respects,
the original one's at 167.
Wow.
It's interesting.
Is it good as the original one?
I think it's a more coherent film. I think the original one's more fun because it's so weird. Slice Stallone's better in it.
We're getting into dangerous territory though because we're putting it up with
I think it's quite near the original. I would say.
I think it's lower though, isn't it?
Yeah, one lower. I think it's better than Valerian and Armageddon and Daily.
No, I don't think it is.
No.
I don't think it's better than Alien vs Predator.
Because it is dog shit. It's just it's just not terrible dog shit.
Oh, okay.
It's actually like RoboCop 2 taste of dog shit.
Yeah, I'm not gonna argue.
It's like that
that's
sort
fair,
of.
Yeah.
It's better than Night of the Lepers. So should we go under RoboCop 2?
Yeah.
Or above RoboCop 2 is terrible. Should we go above RoboCop 2?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Running Man. Running Man's really similar sort of vibes. Isn't it?
Below Running Man then.
Yeah.
Okay.
176.
Cool, that was easy. Okay, so we stuck that in at 176. Below Running Man, above RoboCop 2. Similar movies. Near future, which happens to be in the past. So what are we doing next week? We start a new season next week.
Well, do you need my notes, Sam?
Oh, so this what episode was it?
Closed it. Oh my god!
A long time ago. I just wanted to check.
No. I will tell you because I wrote it down. I even wrote down. Right. So Rollerball was requested by Scott on episode 182, which is Master of the Universe, Friday, March the 12th, 2021. So
it took us 18 months to
get basically, if you're giving us a request, that's about the timeline you're looking at.
And that's not anything to do with anything.
Not what we did.
You've just did read the email.
Yeah.
I read it on air.
Yeah.
We forgot. It's only through pure luck that we even know that's what the request was made, to be honest.
And you also told me to tell you that in the same episode, Al, not me, requested Chronicles of Riddick.
Yeah.
You wrote, really doing a good job keeping up with those listener requests.
Look, we've got a lot of films to watch.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
So one day I'll watch Chronicles of Riddick anyway.
Yeah. But that's not next week.
No, next week.
No.
Next week.
Start a new season.
Well, I think should we discuss what the season is next week? 'Cause I think it's a longer conversation than we've got on this timer. But we're watching Splice anyway.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we'll see you
Look forward to
then. Yeah. Get out of here, you fuckers.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Is that it? Bye.
Bye.
Bye.